We are just a few miles from the Gulf Coast of Florida at Raymond James Stadium here in Tampa. Today, it's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we've got a good one in store between the San Francisco 49ers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Winston now to throw on first down. Throw right side, caught by O.J. Howard. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Winston from the gun on third down. And the Niners get there and bring him down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones, maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
The 49er offense now making their way out onto the field. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number one goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number two goal is win your division. Number three goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can try to have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl. And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round.
Here we go.
Garoppolo to throw on second down. And now a fumble. The ball's out.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
Throwing is Garoppolo on third down. Goodwin able to haul it in. He's at the 40, the 20, 10. Touchdown, 49ers. Marquise Goodwin with touchdown number 20 on the year, and the Niners have taken the early lead. And I think it's safe to say we won't call many touchdown passes longer than that this year, partner.
No, I would agree with that totally. And right now, you're looking at an offensive coordinator. Conservative would not go next to his name. Risk taker, definitely, because he valued the opportunity to create a big play against what could have been disaster if they end up getting sacked or fumbling the ball in the shadow of their own goal line.
Now it's Adam Humphries on the return. Oh, and now he bowls him over.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
So that will push him back.
First down.
And now we know why I have a little extra space to run, don't we? An illegal block in the back. That penalty will move them back.
Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 21. Now Winston. And Brate has it over the middle. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he'll be dropped at the 30. The shifty move got him a couple extra on the play. That's going to be a 6-yard gain. It leaves him with third down and just a yard to go.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing, often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to.
And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down. Malcolm Smith in there yet again. What else is new as he continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. They have to be thrilled with that first drive. They got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up the score, that takes the crowd out of the game.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. Past the 20. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Marquise Goodwin, his 21st touchdown of the season. And the 49ers are able to strike quickly for 6. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
Fielded about a yard deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points. Get that 0 off the board.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
And he'll be brought down right at midfield after a gain of only a couple.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Jameis to throw it. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
They stopped them shy of the marker, thought they were bringing up 4th down, and then that penalty.
Let's face it, they thought they had bent, but could absorb that, right? Instead, they broke as a result of their own penalty.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Eric Armstead in there to sack him for a loss of 6.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Good opening quarter for him. Remember, he had the sack earlier. Now a tackle for loss, another tackle for loss.
He's really making it tough on the play caller, though, isn't he? Because it's one thing to try and adjust when a guy's disrupting your running game. But when he's messing up your passing game as well, they may have to devote at least a 2nd guy to him to try and keep him away from their plays.
14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
The 49ers getting set to trot out there. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
They had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10.
21.
Now Garoppolo throwing on second. Complete to the tight end, Kittle, over the middle of the field. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain, but
Still
all for
second
naught
down.
on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. Throwing right, and that's complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A gain of 32 that time. The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
That's caught inside the 20. And across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. 3 touchdown passes now for Jimmy Garoppolo. And the 49ers add on to their lead.
Well, Brandon, if we go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator, he showed us his script. Didn't show us everything now. He said, here's the script for the game. I think everything's going according to plan in a big way. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's about as good. That is as good as you can do, I guess. So, well done.
Tremendous execution.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder. It puts more pressure on every possession for you now.
And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Malcolm Smith in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Ready, blue wave.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well. But when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now.
Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And it's taken in at the 9. not a big deal on that one. Just your everyday 67-yard punt. And the 49ers will take over deep in their own territory. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove.
He's got him in, complete. And they do finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 41. A big play there for the Niners. 46 yards. On first down, Garoppolo. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
I got you.
Play action, Garoppolo. Forced out to his left. And the pressure gets to him again. Noah Spence in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, 49ers. Touchdown pass number 4 of the afternoon for Jimmy Garoppolo. And the 49ers add 6 to their lead. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Gold now out to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the points that they just had against them.
The first carry here for Jaquiz Rogers. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Malcolm Smith there for the stop.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
There to stop him on the defensive side, Fred Warner.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Here's Winston looking downfield, and the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Jarquiski Tart. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
Well, I tell you, Brandon, this ball's intercepted, but it is third down. So the silver lining is that since this is so far down the field and there wasn't a big run back associated with it, really this kind of works like a punt. It's not an altogether bad result.
He'll rifle, and that's caught inside the 35. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Dante Pettis with touchdown number 29, too short of LaDainian Tomlinson's all-time record 31. And the 49ers continue to roll. And it's up and good. Gold now out to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Jameis Winston and company heading back onto the field now. If second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he goes across the 20 to the 22. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have to contend with a 3rd and 13.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop.
And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
And it's fielded at the 34. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Niners set up well. They take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field.
Single, slot. Hey, you're on an island over there. You're on an island.
Throwing on first is Garoppolo. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. Noah Spence in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. To throw, it's Garoppolo. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Jason Pierre-Paul in there to drop him, and he continues to wreak havoc in offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. Here's Garoppolo to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this is caught at the 20. And he gets this down deep into Tampa Bay territory. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Tell the truth, partner. You didn't think he was coming down with that one, did you? Come on, tell me the truth.
No, I didn't. I'll tell you what, though. A one-handed grab of that length. Talk about giving your team a little juice.
Oh, big time. I mean, everyone's going to be excited about that one, whether you're on the field or not. It permeates its way through the entire team, and I can't wait to see what they do on the next down.
So that run gets them about halfway home.
Yeah, it's now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. Now a toss play. It's Breida, and he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
And they might think about going for it here, but it's still just the 2nd quarter. Take the 3 points, tell the defense you believe in them, and let them get the ball back for you.
And Gold is able to put it through. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens, because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
Mike Evans and the rest of the offensive unit heading back out there now. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? 2nd quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us. But sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping. And the Niners get there and bring him down. Malcolm Smith getting him once again, his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. That's a 49-yard punt, 8, though, on the return. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. There's Dante Pettis as his guys head back out onto the field. He might be on his way to a record-setting performance. So good here. We're only in the second quarter.
And it's so interesting when we watch these types of days unfold for a receiver because they need a quarterback throwing it accurately, people to block for the quarterback, so many other variables.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 44. That's a pick six. He brings it back to the house for a Buccaneer TD.
Well, partner, I do know this. If you're a defensive back, you have more chances to make a team now than ever because people are using 5 defensive backs, 6 defensive back packages. Not exclusively, but way more than before. That was a nickel package there, and what a pickoff.
Why is that? Why are they using that more?
Because more people are throwing the ball on earlier downs than ever before. This has become a passing league, and because of that, more defensive backs on the field on most plays.
And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. There's Dante Pettis as his guys head back out onto the field. He's the star wide receiver, and he's doing his thing so far here into the second quarter.
And how you get distinguished as a star is each and every week performing to a high level no matter what they throw at you, because you always want to take him out of the game if you're a defensive team. How do you press him, double him, triple him, all those things? But the best players show up each and every week. Solid games and some spectacular ones.
And he has showed up time and time again. To throw is Garoppolo. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on the ground.
Garoppolo. Open man is Pettis. It's complete. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. A big 3rd down play there for the Niners. 48 yards. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll send you cross-state to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have all the stats and all the scores from games going on during another busy Sunday in the National Football League. Garoppolo looks to throw. Man open, it's Goodwin. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a 1st down. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch. And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Here's Breida. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup, so a good situation on 2nd and 2. It's now 3rd and 1. The good run on 1st down followed up by a not-so-good run on 2nd down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on 3rd down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. A great effort there. His 17th touchdown now on the season. And the 49ers, they're just pouring it on. Gold with the extra point, and the route is on here in this first half. Gold now out to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has the
blitz coming, and down he goes. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
Ready. Flag 22.
Second down, Winston. He hits Rodgers in the flat. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. And prior to this 3rd and 2 play, we're going to get a timeout call as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1.
Ready. Blue ready.
Winston on 3rd and 2. And he's got a man. It's the tight end Howard, complete. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a first down. Now they got to get to the line quickly. On 1st and 10, Winston. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Malcolm Smith. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon. Now a second down throw for Winston. Left side here, that's complete to Godwin. The Bucs forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. On 3rd down, Winston. And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. Here's Brian Anger now. He's been terrific so far. This is taken at the 18. Able to power through. So we have reached halftime. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. It's the 49ers out in front, and they will get the football first as well as we are back and started in the second half. This one taken from the 7. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this 3rd quarter. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the second half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here.
Well, the obvious goal is to try and score a touchdown, but at the least, adding to a pretty big yardage total for his intended receiver there, huh?
Yeah, well, when you got a guy over 150. There he goes, right side. Touchdown, 49ers. Dante Pettis becoming just the 2nd player with 30 touchdowns in a single year. And the 49ers continue to roll. And let's count them up now. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdown receptions for him in this game.
And just one shy of the NFL record. What a great performance. Going up and catching the football, creating space, and finding the end zone. That's what it's all about.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the second half. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts
rush coming, and he's taken down. Malcolm Smith in there yet again. My goodness, make it 5 sacks for him now in this one game alone.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. And they'll get him down here at the 23. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives him a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
To throw, Winston. Throw right side, taken in by Godwin. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And out will come the offense as they take over. There's Dante Pettis as his guys head back out onto the field. A monster game so far, third quarter. He is lighting up the stat sheet.
And so many times when you see these types of games, you hear about the quarterback, or we talk about the quarterback throwing guys open, putting it in the right spot. How about some credit for the receivers, though?
And that's caught inside the 30. And across the chalk into the end zone, it's a 49er touchdown. Marquise Goodwin, touchdown number 22 on the season. And the 49ers, they're just pouring it on.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
Ready, black, 22.
And they'll go on the ground. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Tackle that time by Jarquiski Tart.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Winston from the gun on third down. He's got Evans. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A good pick up there at 20 yards.
When Mike Evans sees man coverage, I don't think he's the only guy who gets excited. I'll guarantee the guy throwing the ball does, because guess what? He's got a lot of options about where to place it because of Mike Evans' size and frame.
They go play action here on first down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Malcolm Smith in there to get him again, and that's his 6th sack of the ball game, one off the NFL record of 7.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front, nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Jameis to throw it. And the Niners get there and bring him down.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And last time the formula was pretty simple. One play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one play drive is exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
And we'll see if it's that easy here.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one, maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
Throwing now is Garoppolo. Throw left side, caught by Goodwin. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A good pickup there, 26 yards. And on that last play there, he's over 400 yards passing now.
You know what that generally means?
Success.
That, and it means you really didn't miss opportunities. Usually very accurate. The ball's getting to the right place. Guys are making yardage after the catch to help you out that way. I mean, the whole team has picked it up. And don't forget, that means the offensive line has had to pass protect pretty well, too.
Yeah, everyone dialed in. Now Garoppolo. And oh, look at that, a diving catch. A very solid gain of 27.
Partner, if you and I were playing quarterback in this one, we would be really confident right now throwing it to him, wouldn't we?
Yeah, he's been spectacular. He's just saying, hey, I was all state. I'll make it rain out here.
21.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And across the goal line, into the end zone, touchdown 49ers. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the 49ers continue to roll. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive. They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score. Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
Winston, and a catch right side by Evans. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. He'll look to set up his blockers. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Elsewhere, second half is underway up in Orchard Park. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature and make sure you don't get hurt.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
But they're certainly being aggressive here. It's like being a sprinter in a 100-meter dash, exploding out of the blocks, trying to push the ball downfield. Guaranteed this defense better be on their toes. They're going to be tested all game.
So they're going to come to the line here, and it appears try to go for it on fourth. They do go for it. It's Garoppolo. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Gerald McCoy getting in there from his defensive tackle spot to snow him under for a loss of 4. The D brought the house. They called the blitz, and they get to the quarterback, overwhelming the O-line.
And I would love to know, and we'll find out later on, was that called before the play, or did they audible into it? Because defenses change plays as well as offenses. Sometimes they get the set they want. They go right to the blitz, and in this case, they nailed it. Got right to the quarterback. No chance on that 4th down.
Ready. Blue ready.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense.
And Winston lost the football. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line.
That feels like an accumulation of the pressure we've seen all game. I mean, he's been on the turf a whole lot because of sacks. Eventually, something else happens as well, and this time it was a turnover.
Yeah, caught up to him. Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10 at their own 46. They'll start on the ground with Breida. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
That's a lot of beef thundering downfield off of the toss play, and it takes me back to when I was a kid and watching USC play. Remember the old toss that they ran? They used to call student body right or student body left because everyone was out in front of the ball carrier. In fact, one of their favorite plays, it was called rose stem right or rose stem left, depending on the formation, 28 toss. And 28 toss was their bread and butter. They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense. Back now in Tampa. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. They'll toss it to Breida. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
But it was stopped on that play. He's had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
Brandon, sometimes it just comes down to the power of suggestion because I know exactly what they said all week long. We're coming off the open week. We'll have the fresher legs in the 4th quarter, and they will wilt when we get to that point. And right now, it appears that they're thinking that exact thing.
Yeah, offensively, they had the bye last week. Defensively, did not. Is that really a big factor? Is that more talk during the week?
I think the more that you talk about it, the more that you emphasize it, the more sometimes it comes true for your team. Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
On the toss, it's McKinnon. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. Well, if you look where that play starts, O-line versus D-line, that was a battle won by the D-line.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's won by quickness off the ball. Who can handle the guy across from them best? On that play, the defensive line did exactly that.
third and long. It's Garoppolo. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Good word. I like it, though, because you're exactly
you
right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
That throw good for 4. It's second down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. From the shotgun, it's Winston. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. Call it a 3-yard gain, and all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call, because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball.
And down he goes. The 49ers get there.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food, because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
And good yardage as he gets this one up to about the 23. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do. Late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
A gain of 26 on the 3rd down conversion. That's the #2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, and tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be #2 for long.
But that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be #1.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4. Fourth quarter, you've got the lead. You have to stay in bounds and run that clock. Coaches, that'll drive them crazy.
Sacrifice a yard or two if you have to. Just go down, in bounds, keep that clock going. It's almost like he was caring more about his fantasy stats than it was about winning the game, and that has to drive a coach crazy.
He'll find Goodwin here on the right side. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown of the game, number 19 on the year. And the 49ers, they're just pouring it on. So another score there, and often you talk about the three phases of the game: defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a fourth phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
So they are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. A fourth quarter score from the Meadowlands. The Patriots, they've widened their lead even further. Another victory perhaps in the cards. They're looking as good as anybody as the playoffs draw near. Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line.
Ready? Blue ready. Boys up. Let's go.
Here's Winston. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. Oh, and now some space to operate. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. A huge play there on the screen pass. 47 yards.
A well-executed screen pass means the offensive line has bluffed the defenders. They make them think that they can just get through and get to the quarterback. Instead, they're setting them up. Little screen pass, lopped it over them, and now they're in front, and they get downfield for big yardage when they do it right.
Meanwhile, this one knocked down in the backfield. It's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
The kick by Tavecchio is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Elsewhere, fourth quarter score now for Baltimore. And the Ravens now really pouring it on. If they indeed win, it would be win number 9 on the season. Now it's Breida. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. It's a gain of 6, moves them to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
This is Breida. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. So it's 49er football here as we get your reset. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. They run with Breida. An agile move, but not a huge gain. Dropped at the 25. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. And they'll run it here. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. The Niners on third down. They've been really good, converting 7 of their 10 tries. This is 3rd and 8. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down. They failed once in this spot earlier, but the offense will stay out to go for it on 4th down. 13. They'll go for it. It's Garoppolo. He rifles one that's intercepted. Carlton Davis picks it. And they will finally get him down as he's all the way to the 36-yard line. And they're not able to convert on 4th down. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. Winston lost the football. And this is going to be 49er football. Oh, Jameis Winston still down. Must have been shaken up there on the last play. Let's hope he's okay. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. There were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
The Niners on third down. Now, they've converted 7 times and could use another right now. This is 3rd and 4. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. And now the Niners going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Kyle Shanahan's made the decision. They're going on 4th down.
Go ahead. Come on, fellas, here we go.
They run forward, Breida. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. They've been burned twice already on 4th down, but the 3rd time's the charm as they keep the drive moving. Now they'll run it on the toss. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great